Morning guys, just off to my doctor's appointment. Just waiting for people walking down the middle of the road because they've got their stuff for the beach. Yeah, I mean, a couple of people have asked why Torrevieja, I'll give you an example. Well, I'll explain it for a lot of people here. The average population age is actually 68 according to some local census, and to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, I've always said that La Mata's got to be over 55, and obviously if it's over 60 it wouldn't surprise me at all, simply because most of the people here are 60 plus. But it's a sense of community that exists here. There's always something going on. Now, I've mentioned the Ladies of Spain is a prime example of things being proactive, where people, well, ladies will meet up, but it's not just a case of having a coffee morning or just a gathering, but often it's about meeting new friends, and some of it's actually dealing with some situations. For example, with population age so high, obviously you're going to have a lot of people that quite simply aren't here anymore. Well, having groups like Ladies of Spain is a prime example where you meet new friends that get you through those times, but also you meet new friends that you potter around with. And I think that's one of the things that's in the UK sort of fizzling out. I mean, I know, I look back when I go back to the UK and things just don't seem happy with most people. And then I look at some of my older friends. I remember meeting my dad's best friend, and like he was saying, when my dad died, who's he going to hang around with? There's no one else left because everyone else has died. I would say here, there's a constant flow of people that are here. I know it sounds a bit bleak, but the reality is you've always got somebody in the area that you can be friends with. And the good thing about Ladies of Spain, I think there's nearly 4,000 members, so you're not expected to get on with everybody, but I'm sure you'll find somebody you'll get on with. So you've got somebody to pot around, go shopping, do events. I mean, Mary does dancing in this area. Colin, sorry, forgot your name there for a second. Colin does dancing further south, so there's like, they do jive dancing, they have events, they go, they organise things like cruises once a year and all those sorts of stuff. But the other thing is, if you've got the numbers, you can do things like bus trips and other bits and pieces, so you're not sort of like stuck in one area either. And also you find that some people are quite happy, because they're retired, to drive other people around. So like, say somebody's living on their own a little bit further out, doesn't drive, there's people are quite happy to take you with them because they're sat around and got a car and nobody to go around with. So it works quite well. And I know I'm speaking from an older generations, but it's quite simply because the fact is, when people often mention this area, they say expats or immigrants. The reality is the majority, I would say, are retirees. But for those that are a younger age, people like myself, which 40s, and say 40s and younger, I find Spain offers a better standard of living. Some people bring up about the cost of, the salaries here, but you've got to put it in line with the cost of living. That's one thing that often gets missed when people talk about wages, when they go, oh, well, in the UK you get paid more. Yeah, but UK, cost of living is stupidly high. The other thing you find here is, where in the UK you pay for like child daycare. Here in Spain, you'll find a lot of the kids stay with their grandparents during the week because the parents are working in Valencia or somewhere else, Barcelona or whatever. So the point is, they spend a lot of time with the grandkids. Also very good and very positive from that side, because it also means there's no disconnect between the younger generations and the old. As such, you'll find a lot of people have a lot of manners for older people, and they respect the older people. But from somebody my age, I find the school's very good. I've got a meeting at school today around Ubi. They have these meetings a couple of times a year. I find the fact that there's a lot of stuff on your doorstep for free. This is the other thing that's missing in the UK these days. We've got the nature parks, we've got the beach, we've got all this stuff on our doorstep. The rent's cheaper. What would be the council tax is, well, pretty much everything's cheaper. You get people say, well, food's about the same. Not if you're preparing your food yourself. I find it's actually cheaper here. But either way, I find that you can live on about, we've been discussing this recently with a few of our friends, because we're looking at downsizing ourselves to sort of be here all the time. So I'm sort of proactively looking for work in the area. But I'm looking at around €1,000 a month for a family of 4. And that's still with private healthcare. So realistically, it is doable. And you think, well, that's not €1,000 each. That's €1,000 all in. Because you think, oh yeah, but you can't go anywhere with that sort of. Of course you can. But also, we've got everything on our doorstep that we need. But we can still travel around when we want to. And the fact is, we've got a couple of young kids. So main things thereafter is the beach, swimming pools, and just randomly stop. The beach, swimming pools, and their friends. They're not too fussed about going to see artifacts or something. That's my age group. And like I said, there's coach trips and stuff in the area, so it's not an issue of actually finding somebody that's going. It's not difficult at all, because they do it regularly. And there's a lot to see in Spain, that sort of thing. A lot of people do sit on the coast and don't go anywhere, but I do recommend travelling around a bit. There's so much to see. There's a ridiculous amount of castles, for example, just on the castle side. But if you start getting into things like dams and natural beauty, the blossoms at Valencia, or going to Granada and skiing and things like that, there's so much around. But reality sort of kicked in for me when my father died. I've got to admit, the issues I've had with some of my relatives has just been disgusting. But the reality kicked in that he worked right up to retirement and looked to do everything in retirement. So for 4 years when he retired, that's all he got. Then he died. And you sit there thinking, he waited his entire life for those 4 years. I sit here in Spain, and I sit here and I look and I think, you know what? We were in Madrid last week. I'm going to go and see the kids at school today. I'm still working around the things that are going on, so I still get work done. But at the same time, I live in a beautiful place. I've got access to a lot of stuff. And am I going to be bothered about working to my retirement, or rather enjoying life now? I'm watching my kids grow up. I'm enjoying time with my kids. And that's pretty much it. Because the cost of living is fairly low here. And yes, it's related to the job market. But at the same time, I sit there and I think in the UK, nearly always you're looking at 2 people working to just survive in the UK. Here in Spain, 1 person can work to pay all the bills. So if if 2 people were part-time, you would still get by. And this is why you find a lot of pensioners still here, because they can still survive on it. It's not rocket science, but it's why I love the place. Thanks for watching.